Hello members, welcome to today's lecture. We are going to get started straight away. All right. I hope you can hear me clearly. Smile, can you hear me? Suma, are you there?
Yes, I hear you.
You ready for the class?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, let's get started. Okay. So, I'll start recording. All right, let's get started. Okay. Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mbarak and I welcome you to our 21st video of mastering Flutter user interfaces. As we always do 40 minutes, so I'll start our timer. In our today's video, we're going to see how we can implement the things that we've been learning so they can start making sense. So right now, we're going to look at how we can make such kind of tabs, and then we'll see how we can implement this kind of a tab maybe in a store application. We can also see how we can implement this kind of tab in a light mode application. We'll also see how we can implement this kind of tabs in a scroller. I mean in a system that can allow scroll the tabs and then hide them. So we have a lot of things to cover, and that's what we're going to implement right now. So without wasting much time, let's go straight into our today's business, which is learning about tabs. Then if time allows us, we'll go ahead and proceed also to forms. So I have a lot of things to cover in this video. Let's get started. So let me begin by setting up my font so you should be able to see things clearly. Come here to settings and increase the font maybe to 18 so you can see things without any problem. Okay, so we're going to look at tabs mainly. So we're going to begin by creating a section of tabs. So I'll come here to our application, then I come here to where we have our screens. I'm going to create a section for what? For tabs. So I'll come screen and say new and test the directory, and then I call these ones tabs. All right, so this is where we're going to put the logic or the files of tabs. So we're going to first begin by creating these basic tabs. Okay, so to create basic tabs, I'll just simply come here and create a new screen that I'm going to call a file, and I'm going to call this one basic underscore tabs.dat. Okay, .dat. So after doing like that, I'm going to go ahead and create a class of basic tabs by just simply saying stateful widget like this, and then I write basic tab screen. Okay, basic tab screen, or we can say basic tabs screen. Okay, I'll go ahead and press Alt and Enter to import this, and I'll remove this key for me, I don't need it. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to link this basic tab key with my main route here, or with my main home page. So I'll come here to our home page, and then I'm going to create another section here. The section, I'll call it what? I'll call it tabs. So I'll come here and create another section that I'll call tabs. So after, I'm going to create I'm going now to create a clickable link. Okay, so I'll just copy this one and then I paste it here. Okay, so after doing that, I paste it here. Let me copy this one that is clickable, and then I paste it here. So after doing that, I'm going to link this one to basic tabs. So I'll come and change the name. I put basic tabs, and then I come and put here basic tab screen. Okay, so when someone clicks there, they should be able to proceed to to basic tabs. So let's go ahead and do that. When I click here, I'm able to see the basic tab screen. I believe everyone should be able to do this. Right, so let's go to save time. I'm going to go to our code so you can just be referencing there as we explain everything step by step. So come to our route, I'll come to our tabs, and then I'll come here to basic tabs or tabs basic. So the first thing that we're going to do right now, we're going to extend our class with our stateful widget with the single ticker provider mixin. Okay, so just simply come here to our stateful widget. Okay, here on the state of the system here, and then we go ahead and add. Let me first disable Copilot. Where is disable? I don't know. Right, so I'll go ahead and say with single ticker provider mixin. So you have to add it there in order your tabs to behave. So after doing that, you're going to create controllers. The controllers, the one that you'll use to control the tab, and maybe the one that you'll use to control the scroll. So you can go ahead and create these two controllers. Okay, so to create the controllers, just simply come here on top, and then you create the first one, which is going to be tab controller. Okay, so you import it, and then another one is going to be scroll controller, and then you give them the names. Okay, so after doing that, so this tab controller will help us to control those tabs. So after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and now do what? And initialize those tab controllers. So those tab controllers, we shall initialize them in the initial state, okay, or in the init state hook. So I'll come here and put init state, then we'll come here on top and then initialize them. Okay, so you say tab controller equals to tab controller, and then here you must specify the number of tabs that you're going to have. For example, for our case, we're going to have 3 tabs, and then you put vsync, then you put this. Okay, so this one will link with with a single ticker provider. So after doing that, then we'll have system controller. So I mean scroll controller, so you can also call this scroll control like that. So make sure that you initialize them in the init state like the way I've done. So after doing that, so the next thing is to dispose them in case someone leaves this screen. So they should be removed from the memory. So you have to come here and put at dispose, or you can just press dispose, and then in this dispose you'll be able to dispose. You dispose the tab controller, dispose the scroll controller when someone clicks back. So you are removing them in memory. So after doing that, the next thing now we're going to create now our context. Okay, so to create a context, we shall just simply come to our context here and then return the scaffold as always do. So we'll come here and turn scaffold. Okay, so this scaffold is going to take the body. Okay, it's going to take the body. So we'll just simply come here and say body. Let me first disable Copilot. Okay, so say body is going to take what you call nested scroll view that can take multiple scroll views. I'll import it. Okay, so this nested scroll view, it must have a controller that will be controlling it. That is the scroll controller that we created it. So I'll go ahead and give it a controller. After giving it a controller, the next thing that it must have, it have now the header silver builder. So the header silver builder is the one that is going to be responsible for displaying these things in the header. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So the header silver builder, just simply header silver builder, it is going to take a function that will receive the context and whether the inner is scrolled or not. So we just simply open here, and this one will receive a build context, and then put your context, and then to also receive a boolean. Okay, whether the inner is scrolled or not. So you put here boolean and say put inner scroll or not. Then after doing that, you open curly bracket, and then you return the widget like this. Okay, so we are now going to return our widget, or this top widget. Okay, so this is the one responsible for just displaying the top items here. If we're going to have nested scroll view. So for now, we're going to now just simply say maybe return. Let me first return just a simple UI return and say text, and then say top, then put semicolon there. So after doing that, so this nested it must return a list of widgets because it's going to support multiple widgets on top there. Okay, so I can as well pass this one just for now. So the next thing it's going to take, it's must take now the so this I'll come and finish it. This builder later. So the next thing that's supposed to take is supposed to take the body. So the body is the content for that information. So I'll just simply come and say the body. Okay, so I'll come in this and take the body, and then I can simply say text, this is the body. So I save. So by doing like that, now what haven't I done? Receive the child, render box of specific. Okay, we're going to see how we fix this. Yep, have we defined the controller? Yes, I've defined the sorry. Yes, define the scroll controller. Okay, we're going to see where the problem could be. All right, so after doing that, then you're going to return here the tab so that it can be able to be controlled. So instead of returning here the body as text, we're going to return now the tab view. So the tab view will have two main sections: the section of controlling the tabs, this one here, and then another one is a section of now where you're viewing the tab information. So come here and return the body of this as what? As tab view. Okay, tab view. So this tab view is going to take our children, of which they're going to be tabs. So we're going to take children. Okay, so the first children, we can define the first tab. Okay, so I can put here the first children. So this here you can put any kind of what? Any kind of content that you want. So it can even be a normal kind of widget. Okay, so that will be our first tab, and then you can also add other tabs. Okay, all right. So after doing that, now the next thing is now we're going to add now the controller, the tabs here, the one that you see here on top, which is going to be the controller. Okay, so here I did a mistake. I'm not supposed to return that. I'm not supposed to return a normal text. Okay, so on top here, in this widget, I mean this list of widget, you're going to return what we call the silver app bar. Okay, we're going to return what we call silver app bar, and then we'll also attach the remaining widgets. So this silver app bar, it will allow me to organize my things in this way. Okay, so let's go ahead and return silver app bar. Okay, then after doing that, you can as well mimic these ones as normal widgets like this. All right, so after doing that, the next thing you're going to do is now to return now the silver bar. It will have the style, and that style is the one that you can use to maybe to color your system. Okay, the status bar and the rest. All right, let me first go back and open this page again. Okay, the application crashed the whole of it. All right, so you return the silver app bar, and this is you return the silver app bar, and then in this silver app bar you put the what? You put the silver app bar's theme that you want to style, like the way you see here, the overlay theme, the overlay styling. And then this silver app bar is going to have a title. So this title is what you'll be able to see here on top. Okay, so the silver app bar, you can design it and give it a title. Then after giving it a title, so this is in silver app bar, you can give it a title. The next thing that you can give it the what? The background color. Okay, so you can give it the background color. Then you can give it the leading. The leading is the icon that you'll see on top, and then the actions. They are these. The actions, they are these buttons that you see here. So that's the one that you call what? That you call actions. So you can be able to create your own what? Your own app bar as you can see here. So let me go ahead and provide those ones here. All right, so after doing that, so you can pause the video and you look at these action that I've passed. So this silver app bar, it will have what we call the bottom. So the bottom is now the content that you see here. Okay, so in the bottom we are going to pass the tab controller, now the one that is going to be controlling this section, which is this one here. So let's go ahead and give it the bottom. So I'll come here to this silver bar and give it what we call bottom. Okay, so in the bottom we're going to pass now the tab bar. Okay, so now let me explain. We have two things: the tab, which is the one that is going to show the view, and then the tab bar. The tab bar, it is the one that is going to do what? To now have the controls or the controllers. Okay, so that are the two things. You can place this one anywhere. So the first that we're going to do, we're going to style it. Okay, so let me go ahead and paste this one. So the first thing is going to have maybe the color. So I'm saying the color of the tab should be white, and then the indicator of the tab it should be of this size, and then also I indicate the weight of the tab. So after doing that, now we have to pass the tabs. The tabs is now the content that is going to appear here on top, or to control the tab itself. So you pass the tabs, and these tabs, you put the tab So when you say tab, you can pass an icon, you can pass a title. So you can even try to see other possible things that you can pass. You can pass its height, you can give it a child, you can give it text. So there are so many things that you can do that you can give. You can give it an icon margin, etc. So for us here, we're just providing it an icon, and then we return what? The text. Okay, so that the tabs that are going to control are the main tab. Then lastly, you have to give it a controller. So this controller is the one that is going to control the tab view wherever it is. So this tab view, I hope it also it must have a what? It must have a controller. I think that's what I had forgotten. So the tab view must also have a controller. So this controller is the one that is going to connect with this tab what? With this, I mean this tab controller is the one that's going to connect the tab view with the tab controller. Okay, so I hope you understand. So if I open, you should be able to see that it is so beautiful. Okay, so you see I'm able to scroll, but the challenge is our tab has not changed the color, so we have to give it what? This scroll bar, we have to give it a background color of primary, so you can be able to do what? To have that color that you want. So come here to this silver bar and also add it what? A background color of primary. So this, it can be any color that you want, and then you put elevated to inner scroll. So when you say elevated to inner scroll, then you're able to have something like this. So this leading, I've already shown you, it is the one that is going to be on top here. In case you want to replace this, you can put the leading, and then you put any icon of your choice. Okay, so whoever can color icon by icon, but for us, since we are using the white theme, that's why our things look to be in what? In black, but you can color them if you want to, one by one. All right, so let me explain what I've just done. So you can go ahead and color this, but if you style the whole theme, of course, to be the color that you want. So let me go ahead and explain what I've done. Okay, I'm going to explain everything step by step so you can understand the concept, and then you proceed. And I'm also going to remove the misconception that you might have got right now. All right, so here we are having the what? All right, sorry about that. So here we are having the tab controllers. So the tab controller is the one that is very important. If you just forget about even this scroll controller. So this tab controller is the one that is very important. Its purpose is to link the tab view wherever it is. The tab view is the one that is going to be displaying the content with the tab controller or with the tab navigation bars. So the tab navigation bars, they are the ones that are going to do what? To be displaying the content. Okay. Let's just pick this person. Hello, Phil, I'm in a lecture. Can you call me like after 1 hour? Yeah, call me at 11, please. All right. Okay, so I was saying this tab is the most important. Okay, it's the most important. Okay, it's the most important because the one that is going to collect the controllers with the what? With the section that is going to control it. Okay, and also another thing, if you're going to have tabs, you must also add this single ticker provider on your what? On your state. So forget about this second one. So when you're defining a tab, you have to initialize it like that. So you give it the number of tabs that you're going to put, and then put vsync to this. All right, so after doing that, the next thing is that you have to now put the container, I mean what you want to display. So one thing that you should know, you can as well do something like this. I can, for example, I can comment this one, okay? And we have our normal scaffold, okay? And then this scaffold, we give it maybe we have our up bar, and then we have here maybe our column. This is just the normal column that you know. All right, so if I do like this, still everything will be okay. I can as well come here and give our normal up bar, and then maybe say up bar, and then give maybe a title, Okay, so you see, I just want to remove the misconception that maybe you might have got like maybe tabs are hard. So after doing that, you see we have nothing because I've commented this one. So the next that you're going to do, you're going to give, for example, this children. Okay, so first of all, you're going to need the controllers that are going to control your tab. So to create controllers, you can put them anywhere. You can put them maybe to any design that you want. You can place them anywhere. So, but the main important part is that your tab controllers should be having the controller, what? They should be having the controller, the controller variable or object that is going to link them with the what it should control. So you see here, as a simple column, I've just given what we call the tabs. Okay, so tab bar, what we call the tab bar. So this tab bar, it will take just a few things. It will take the indicator color that you want. It will take the tab, but the most important part must take the what? The tab controller and the number of tabs that you're going to have. So these are the icons or what you want to display. So if I save, you see, I'll see that. So if I say maybe it should be blue or black, my icon will always be black. So you see, you can even create such a beautiful design. So right now I've just created a controller, but I've not put now the content that I want to put in this controller. So if I want, that I want this tab controller to control. So if I want to put the content, I just simply come here in bottom. For example, I can now put expanded because I don't know how huge the content is going to be. Expanded. And then here in this scroll view, I'm going to put, in this expanded, and I'm now going to put my what? I'm now going to put my tab view, this one here. Okay, tab view. So I'll come here and put tab view. Okay, so the tab view, it must also take the what? The controller that is going to control it. So the tab view is now the content that you want to display. Remember, it's going to have a child. This child is like, it can be your content, like anything that you want in this child. Okay, so since there are 3, I'm also putting here 3 children in this what? In this tab view. So if I save, I'm going to achieve the same thing. So this one can even be scrollable. Can you see? So forget about this nested scroll view, whatever. Just look at what I've just explained right now. Those are the main things that you do want in order to create such a kind of a WhatsApp application, where here you have your messages, here you have your status, and here maybe you have your calls. You see? So here you can put any kind of content that you want. So you can go ahead and look at all the possible functions that this tab view controller can take, and also maybe the tab bar can take. Okay, so that is all you need about tabs. However, you can go deep and find out more things, maybe colors and the rest, the animation, displaying animation, all those things. So that is about tabs. So it means that in this one you can put anything. For example, here in the content, I can even call this one, and then maybe I put here, for example, my widget, and say maybe tab one content, and then I open bracket, and then I create the widget of this. Okay, so you see, I'm just trying to show you what you can possibly do. Then I'm going to give you a challenge that you should try. Okay, so when I say tab 1 content, I come here and I return. So I can return, for example, a single, okay, I can return, for example, a column. Okay, so it means that the tab 1 is going to have a what? A column. So this column can have children. Okay, so in this children can have, for example, text 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and blah blah blah. So when I save, you'll see that in the first tab we have any content that we want, in the second tab we have another content. So you can design this content to anywhere that you want. So it can even be scrollable if you want it to be. It can even be a dynamic list. So that is how you can create tabs. So I hope you've understood the basic concept of creating tabs. So let me see the challenge that you can do. I can give you as a challenge, also you can try it out. So if it is a new tab, of course we'll have to try it together. So you should be able to do something like this. Now we should be able to implement a store tab where you're going to have a tab like this one. I hope you can see that. We're going to have a tab like this one. However, here the challenge is, the challenge that I'm giving you is when you scroll, this one should do what? Should disappear. So you should be able to have a tab like this one. So you can challenge yourself and pause the video and try to do this kind of a tab. We're going to have the scroller and then the images like these ones, and then should be scrollable, and then you should be able to have the tabs. Maybe this one can be maybe a page for music. This one may be a page for movies. This one may be a page for shop, and this one may be a page for my account settings. Okay, and then you display the relevant content there. It is the same knowledge, but I want you to challenge yourself by doing something like this. Okay, all right, so that's the first challenge that I have for you. This one you can also try it. It is the same tab. Please pause the video and try this challenge. Okay, just change the label color and then the active color, but put the different content, because I already showed you how to create this kind of grid. So merge the knowledge, get the grid that I told you before, and see how you can achieve something like this. Okay, so you should be able to achieve that. All right, so you should be able to achieve this. So instead of putting a text here, okay, a text here, you should put a what? You should put an icon, okay, and then change the icon to the color of the active tab. So that is the challenge that I'm giving you also to try. It is possible. Okay, now another thing that you're observing here is, like, when I come to this, for example, movies, the title changes. So it means that there's a listener that changes when a tab changes. So I want you to challenge yourself and put a tab listener. So I think this one you can put from here, and put I'm sure I can play the listener. So this is the one for so this is how you add a listener. You add the listener on the controller. You put add listener. So this listener will be executed when something changes. Okay, so you can just simply implement it like this. So you can add listener here. So you check if it is not null by just doing like this, and then put add listener. So this add listener will be called every time the tab changes. Okay, so you can go ahead and say when the tab changes, you get the active index. So let's say that we have our title, this one that we call tabs. Let's say that is a dynamic variable, or it is a variable called title. So the title by default, we can say maybe it is a string a string title called tabs by default. All right, so now we want when it changes, when the tab changes, this title should also change. So we'll come to this and add a listener here on init. We check if it is not null, we add listener, and then you say when changes, you go ahead and get the index of the title. So you can have this in form of index, or you can just simply say title equals to, and then you say tab, let's say that you want to identify which tab is it. So if you want to get the position of the current tab, this is how you get it. You just simply say the tab and check if it is not null, and then you say dot index. So dot index, it will give you the latest active tab position. Then you put dot set state. Okay, so if you can put a condition and say if is 1, then display this, if it's 2, then display this, something like that. So this one will always change the this tab. So since this function is only called when the application is open or when the page is open, I'll first go back and open it again. So you see, when you change, it is changing to tab 0. So the first tab is tab 0, the second one is tab 1, and then 3. So it is beginning from 0. So if I want maybe to show 1, 2, 3, I can just simply come here and put +1. So by doing like that, you should be able to see this one is so I'll restart again. So when I change, see, this one is tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. So this listener in simple terms is being called when it is changing. So you can do your logic here per page or per respective page of what you want to do when someone goes to that particular tab. I hope you're together, guys. Okay, so you should be able to do something like this. So I'm giving you this one as a challenge also. Do something like this. Pause the video and then you do an example like this one. You should be able to achieve it. So right now we are now on implementation. I'm not going to do everything for you. I'll show you how you can do it, and then I show you what you should do in order for you to trigger your brain and see if you're really understanding these things. So you should be able to achieve something like this. Okay. Now, if the tabs are too many, you can enable the scroll view. Okay. Let's say that you have like 10 tabs and they cannot fit all of them in the screen. You can enable the scroll. So if there are too many, let's say that you can make like 10 tabs, and then you want it to be scrollable. You'll just simply come here when you're initializing it and put, come here to the tab bar. Where is it? Here to the tab bar, and put is scrollable and make it to true. So if you make it to true, these tabs will be able to do what? To be scrollable if there are many. If you make it to false, it means that they'll try to balance the available space and make them themselves fixed there without being able to be scrolled. Okay, but if you're expecting many tabs, let's say like 10, you can make it to scrollable to be true. Then those tabs will be able to do what? To scroll. Okay, so pause the video and challenge yourself to do something like this, where you have like many tabs and you should be able to do what? To scroll them. Pause the video and do something like that. All right, so that is a tab for you. So you should also be able maybe to do a tab like this one. Okay, so you can even disable the single scrolling. So you just change the user interface. Instead of putting just the normal icon over the tab, you can just simply put this kind of icon, so you can be able to do what? To scroll them like these ones. Okay, this is just like a text that you have here, but the difference is it is doing what? It is the difference is it is having the background color and also the container and with the padding, and it is scrollable. But they are what? but they are tabs. So you can challenge and do something also like this one. Okay, pause the video and then do like this. This is nothing but a container that has that kind of text and the background color, and then these are list of widgets that you have already done in the when you did cards, if you still remember. So pause the video and challenge yourself and do something like this. Okay, so you can make a news application where you can have your maybe trending news, all news, new news, or the featured news, something like that. And when you click on a tab, you'll be able to show the relevant content according to what I showed you here, that you can even design a separate widget and then present it as a what? As a tab content of a certain tab. So go ahead and do that. So, and then almost everything that I've explained, you can now relate and see that you'll be able to do what? To achieve it. So pause the video and do at least more than 2 challenges that I've asked you to do in order to know that you've mastered this knowledge of tabs. All right, so we'll proceed to the next step, and we're going to look at what we call steppers. I think our time is up. We're going to do that in the next video. So in the next video, we're going to see how we can do steppers. Steppers, they help us to show something step by step, and we can also use them when we are onboarding someone on what? On our application. So in the next video, we're going to see how you can do this kind of stepper, or what we call wizards. Okay, so make sure that you don't miss. So we're going to have a very short break and then come back and see how we can accomplish this kind of what? This kind of things, or these steppers. All right, so let us be back at 10 past 10. So 10 past 10, after 6 minutes, we should be back and then do our last session. So let's have a short break of 5 minutes and then we'll be back for the last session. So after 5 minutes, we should be back, and then we do this last session. We are going to look at these tabs. So immediately 10 past, we should be back. Those on YouTube channel, you can remain there until we come back, and I will resume. Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindom Barak and I welcome you to our 21st, if not 22nd, video of mastering Flutter user interfaces. In this video, we're going to concentrate and see how we can implement what we've been learning on forms, or how we can implement forms. We always do 40 minutes. As you can see, our timer has already started. So let me first take you through what we're going to do right now. You're going to see these steps will be of next video. Right now we're going to work on what? On forms. So we're going to see how we can create such a login form. As I told you that today we are implementing all what we've been learning into now the real world user interfaces. So today we're going to see how we can implement, how we can create such a login system. We are going to see how we can create such a login sign up user interface. We are going to see how we can create such a profile interface for the form. We're also going to see how we can create such an interface for maybe for big text. We're also going to see how we can create such an interface for collecting the address of users. We're also going to implement maybe this checkout, how we can create checkout information for the user. We are also going to implement how you can create a sign up login in a dark mode like this one. We are also going to see how you can implement this kind of an outline. So I'm going to implement most of these ones, and the others I'll give them as your challenge to try out. So you're going to see how you can create different kind of forms that you always use in our day-to-day life. So without wasting much time, let's go straight and see how we can now start implementing what we've been learning and create a login form. I mean, different kinds of forms. So we have already opened our application. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the main page and create a special section of forms. So I'll come here and then simply come here, right click on the screens and create a new directory that I'm going to call forms. Okay, so in this form directory, we are going to go ahead and create we're going to go ahead and create our first form, okay, our login form. So I'll just simply come here and say new file. So I can begin the word form login. I can say login form screen.dart. Okay, and then we come here and create stateful widget and call it login like this. So I'll go ahead and remove this, and then I import the states like this. All right, so that's going to be our login form. Now the next thing, we're going to connect this login form with the main screen. So I'll come to our main screen, which is this one. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and create what we call login. And then we're going to put there the clickable item. Sorry, this is going to be forms, a section of forms, and then it's going to be the login form. Then we go ahead and collect this. Alright, so go and create this and then put this one login form. Right, so we're going to see now. So all these things we have covered them. Okay, good progress. So right now we're going to see how we can implement this login form. So when you click here, we are seeing nothing, of course. So we're going to create and see how we can implement the other login form that I demonstrated to you. So I already created it here. I'm going just to copy as I explain, okay, or write a few things as I explain in order to save our time. Form login. All right, so this is the one that you're going to create. So the first thing that we're going to do, we have already created our skeleton. So we're going to begin our up bar, and then this up bar, we're going to hide it. Okay, we're going to create our first up bar. So I'll begin by creating our scaffold. So I'll remove this one. I'll remove this and put out called scaffold. Okay, and then we give the background color to gray and pass 100. Okay, so that one will be our simple user interface. So we're designing. So the next thing we're going to create now our app bar. So this whole thing on top is an app bar. So I'm going to create an app bar. So I'll come here and put app bar and then open, and then after we're going to give this background color of app bar to be blue. Then put the color like this, so we'll have that blue. Okay, so the next that we're going to do, we're going to make the icons on top here to be white. So we have to pass this system overlay to be white. So since our theme is already white icons, so automatically will be white. So now we have white icons. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to remove this front icon of leading. So let's just simply come and put leading automatically leading to be false, or automatically imply leading to be false. Then this back button will disappear. We're going to go ahead and put what you call preferred size. We can put sized box. So go ahead and put preferred sized, or you can put also what you call sized box. That's going to be the what is going to be the bottom of the login. Of this app, of the scaffold, of the app bar. So give it bottom and then put preferred size. So this preferred size, like this. So it has to take multiple things. So it has to take the size or the height that you need. So you can just simply put here a height of 140. So it's a size format from height 150. So by doing like that, it will be able to create a 150 height of that preferred size widget. So after doing that, we're going to give now the container that we're going to put this information. Okay, so just simply come here and give it a child that is going to be a container. So when you save, we'll have something beautiful like that one. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to give now the content in this container. So this container, you can give it some paddings as I've specified there, so it can look good, or the content inside it should look good. And then after, we can also align the content to bottom left. Okay, so come here and put align the content to bottom left. All right, so after doing that, then we're going to go ahead and put the constraint height to expand to 150. Okay, then after, we're going to put now the column. Okay, the column of this as the child of this container. So you put child and then put column, and then after, you're going to pass now the cross section to always be start, the cross axis alignment, and then we give it children. Okay, so in this children is where we're going to put this word login and then format it to that. Okay, so I'll come here and pass login. So you're using the heading style that I already put in the project that came with. Using the style, then we begin from the heading, and then in this heading we give it the color of white, we give it the font weight of bold. Okay, and then we'll end up having this kind of word with the word login. Okay, so after doing that, then the next thing, you're going to give the container height of 40 so it can separate the two. So after this login, I'll come here and give a container, or you can even use a sized box of 40 of 10, and then after I write maybe my welcoming message here. It can be description message that is welcoming the user, and I give it this style. I give it just it's extending the body one, and then I give it the color of what? Of white. So by doing like this, I should be able to have such a beautiful thing. So after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and put the email. Okay, so this is going to be now the content of the, so you can pause the video and look carefully what I've just done. Okay, all of this is just in app bar. So now we're going to give this scaffold the content. Okay, so I'll come here and give this scaffold the body. Okay, so the body is going to be a single scroll view, so I want the user to be able to scroll just in case their screen is small. Okay, so a user should be able to scroll this section. Okay, otherwise if you don't do that, then your screen will have issues when someone wants to log in. So give this one single scroll view. Okay, and then after we come and give it a padding. So single scroll view can take padding of so I give padding of 8, and then after I go ahead and give it what, cross alignment to always start. So after, I'm going to put now my container inside the single scroll view, okay, of which I'll give the alignment of, I can leave the alignment. Let me go ahead and give a container. So this single scroll view will take what, a single child, of course, as it sounds, and then I give the container. So the container, we are going to give it a width of 250, so it can have a limited width. So I just simply come here and give the container 250 width, and then after I go ahead and give it children. Okay, so children. So I'm going to give it child. So the child is going to be what? Now the column itself. Okay, so I come here and give it column like this. So this column will take children, because that we're going to do what, to display here. But remember, we have limited their what, their width. So I can make it always to be on top and start as a cross axis alignment. Then I'll go ahead and give the height of 50, so I can have this space on top here. Okay, the height of 50, and then after I'm going to go ahead and give the text field input, what you call the text field. Okay, and then I allow someone to enter the email. Okay, so I can pause the video and create such a text field that will only accept email addresses. So if I save like that, it will always be like that. So after doing that, so here we'll collect the email address. Okay, so I have to start this with align center, this container with align, and then we pass alignment of center like this, so it should be centered. Okay, you can as well expand the width and then center it. It's all the same. Anyway, so we have that one. So the next thing that we're going to do now is now to give the height of 5. All right, so after doing that, then I'm going to give another text field that's going to collect the username, the password. So you put obscure as true, so it can be able to hide it. So I'll do that. So when I save, I'll get that. All right. So after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do now, we're going to have a container again of 5, so it can separate that from what, from the checkbox. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And then after, we are going to go ahead and give it the row, and this row will have a checkbox and then the word remember, and then the text of remember me. Okay, so if I come here, you'll see what I've just done. This is just a checkbox, okay, which can be on change, and then we change what the user has done. And then here you have a material size up, which is going shrink to wrap. Okay, so on top. Okay, so after doing that, then next to that row we put text remember me, and then we style this text like this, as you can see. Okay, so if we do this, we'll be able to achieve something like that, where someone can toggle and put remember me or not. Alright, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going now to put the height of 15, and then we'll be able to put the login, the button of login. So you can pause the video and see what I've just done right now, and then I'll go ahead and put here the height of 15, and then after putting the height of 15, I'm just going to put the elevated button, which is going to be the button of logging in. I believe everyone can do this. Okay, so I put the button. You can format the button in any way that you want. So by doing like that, we will have come up with our simple login user interface. So you can use this login in your application right now, or you can use it even later in any way that you do what that you want. So you should try it to you should try to really do this by your own self, in order, or by following the video, in order to make sure that you are confident that you've really learned what I've been teaching you. So you can see it's a nice, it's not the most nice, but it is nice login page that we have created using the right principles, in a way that if someone, even if they have a small phone, they'll have ability to do what, to scroll. So that's how we have implemented that one. All right, so let's proceed to another one. So we can create this sign up. So as I told you, I'm not going to explain everything A, B, C, D, E, F like this. I'm just going to be doing the basic one, and then I show you how you can implement the rest. So go ahead and challenge yourself and do the sign up. If you have done the login, that it looks like this, okay? So why can you fail to do a sign up that looks like this? So to save time, I'll leave this one as your challenge. So you have to pause the video and do this on your own and see if you can really achieve it. So this one is just a radio button, okay, and then this is the button like the one that we created in the previous video, and then this one is just next to it, but with a different color. So can you pause the video right now and do what, and do what, and challenge yourself and do something like this for sign up. All right, so this one I'll leave it for you. All right, so we have another one, the profile data. This one we're going to do it together, and then we'll also have with icon. You'll do this one by yourself, okay? So for me, I'm going to do the first one. I don't know if I should do this one or the other one. I think let me do this one, and then you will challenge yourself and do this one for the profile. But for now, let us do this one, the profile, sorry, the with the icon what, form. So this form only has icon instead of text. So let's go ahead and do this together, and then you challenge yourself and do the one which I just demonstrated previously. So I'm just going to duplicate this one, and then I'll remove everything, and then I explain everything step by step. So we are going to call it what? Icon form. All right, so we're going to connect this icon form with our main route. So I'll come to a main route, and then I duplicate this. I call this one, I import it, and I call this one what? Icon form. All right, now let us go back, and then you should be able to do what, to click on icon form. Okay, so in this icon form is where we're going to put the logic of designing the other icons, something like this. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and do it. All right, so now if you want to reuse the styles, okay, if you want to use maybe the text style, like you see our text style are having almost the same style, you can begin by defining this style. You can even put them in an external file and then just be referencing them. Okay, so that's what you're doing here. You first define the style, since it is going to have the same styles, the same color, and then we will be just substituting them. Okay, so I'm going to define my style for the what. So I'll come here on top here. This is my text style. So put text style and then put text style and then create text style and then pass color. Okay, so it's going to be pink of 800, and then the height is going to be 1.4, and then the font size is going to be 16. So this is going to be my standard style for what? For the text that I'm going to use in this form. You can add even multiple things that you want, the background color, etc. Okay, so this style I can reuse it many times. So if it was static, I can even reference it from wherever it is. Okay, so since I've seen that I'm going to write many things and they're going to have the same color duplicated, I define it only one time as a theme, and then I can reuse it. You can even reuse it in a separate file, so that your things should be on the same standard. So we're going to define another one. So you can pause the video since you have understood. You can define these other ones. So this one is underline input border, of which you can say it's got underline input border, and then you define the border colors, the border size, all of them at once. After defining these at once, so what does it mean? It means the next thing you're just going to do what? To reuse them wherever you want. It can even be outside the what? Outside this screen. Alright, so after doing that, now the next thing is now to create a scaffold. Okay, so come this scaffold. Okay, so our scaffold's already there, and then you give it the background color of white. So when you give a background color, the scaffold background color to white, that's what you'll get. So we go ahead and give the up bar. Okay, so I believe everyone here can do the up bar, so I'll just get my up bar and then put it to this scaffold. Okay, so if you want to color the icon bars, just simply pass the style, system style, in the up bar, and then it will automatically update the color in the what? In the status bar. Then this is the background color of pink, so it's going to be like the same color. Okay, so if I save, I'll have something like this. If you want to change the icon color, this icon that you're seeing here, you can as well change it by using what you call icon theme, and then it takes what you call icon theme data, and then you can put the color to white. So by doing like this, it will change the icons that are in what? That are in up bar. It will change their color to the color that you want. Alright, so after doing that, the next thing is now going to put the content. Okay, it's now going to put the content. So I'm going to create a single scroll view. So because this form can be huge, so users should be able to do what? To scroll. So I'll come here and let me collapse the up bar. I'll come here to the body. I'll come here and create what they call a body, and then give it single scroll view. So this single scroll view, it can take the axis and make it vertical. Okay, and then its child is going to be what? The column. Okay, and the column is going to take multiple children. Okay, so the first child that you're going to take, you're going to design this icon that you're seeing here behind. Okay, so I'm going to copy it and then explain everything step by step. That is the first thing that we're going to design, that big icon that you're seeing behind. So I'll put it here and then explain it step by step. So the first thing that is there is the container, and then it has the height of 230. Then inside it there is tag. Okay, because you see this button is kind of top, and it's also maybe kind of big. It is the mid of everything. So it is the mid of everything because we have what? We have stack. Okay, so the icon, we put it, then we put also the icon of a person, and then the icon of a person is going to have a size of 220, and then after putting the icon of a person, so this icon of a person, it is this one here. Okay, so remember the size is 230, but the icon, we have forced it to be 240. What does it mean? It means it's going to leave other space in the bottom. So in the space that has left here, it's where we're going to put now the what? Our icon of camera. So you just simply put transform translate values, this one, so it can be able to do what? To be changing when you're moving it. And then after, you give it what? Some margin, and then you give that container an alignment. You see, an alignment, which is alignment bottom left, and then you, inside this container is where I give now the what? The floating action bar, and then this we give it the content, such as the background color and also the icon itself, and also when someone presses it, you trigger something. So you can add multiple ideas on something like this. So if I save, we'll have this one exactly. Okay, so you see our icon is there and clickable and looks so nice. So you see, so this one is in bottom because this one is bigger than this, and it is also assigned that side. All right, so after doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to create now the forms themselves. Okay, it's not to create the form themselves. So each form item is going to just simply be in this column. Okay, so we're going to have a container inside the widget. Remember, this first container was for the first form, so for the first icon, so we wanted it to spend 100% of width. That's why I had to put it outside the container. Then the second container is the one that we're going to limit, or put the form inside there, and also limit its padding. Okay, so I'll come here and then collapse this by clicking here, and then after I can go ahead and put our container. Okay, so in this container we're going to give it some padding, and then you can say padding all to be 15. All right, so after doing that, so it means that the container that has come here next is having the padding of 15 from all sides. Okay, then it's going to have now the child, which is going to be column. All right, so in this column, we're going to give the cross axis assignment to center, or to start. All right, so after doing that, if I save, I'll see nothing, of course. Then in this column, I'll go ahead and give children. Okay, so the first child is going to be this text field. Okay, so I'm going to copy it and then I explain it. Okay, so I'll just get this one and then I'm going to explain it, but for you should write it because you don't know it. So it is going to be a text field. So text field, it takes what we call text style. So we pass here our first text style. Remember, the text style we have already designed it. You should be having these colors. All of you have already designed it, and it is now a variable that can be used in more than one text field, or in multiple text fields. So in here, what we do, we pass that variable, and then we can maybe specify the keyboard to be of type text, and also maybe the cursor to have the same one, to have the same colors. Okay, so after we give decoration, input decoration. So it takes what, a leading of an icon. This is how you do it. You specify now the icon to be there in front. Okay, and then the icon is what, is gray. So we go ahead and give it some margins, as you can see there, and then the label of what should appear in front of that, and then also if you want to enable the borders or not. Okay, so see here, the enable linear border, I pass the linear variable, the linear border, the linear style variable that we created. Okay, and then here we pass the forecast. So when someone is forecast, we'll show this, and when someone is just the border is enabled, will show this color, or the normal color of the border. So you can pause the video and look at that. Okay. This guy is in wrong place. It's not supposed to be in stack. It's supposed to be here. Okay. So you can see my form has started getting what? Getting shape. So I can go ahead and add another one. Alright, so now we are here. Assume that now you want one to be on one side, like this phone number, and then the phone number type to be on the other side. Okay, so in that case, you're going to need a what? You're going to need a row. Okay, so in that row, you'll put the same fields that we've just demonstrated right now. So I'll just simply come here and put the row. So I'll show you how we achieved it. Did I put it in the right place? Okay, these are supposed to be inside here where there is padding. So I'll come here and put size box of height 5, and then after putting this size box of height 5 or 10, I'll go ahead and do it, and now display the what? The form that I draw. So if you want to look at the format that I draw, it's just a row that has expanded, and then the form information icon, and also a row that has expanded, and then the second form, and then here at last we're having that icon that is pointing down as the what? As the suffix icon. Okay, we call it suffix icon. So by doing like this, you'll be able to do what? To put your same rows in the same columns. To put two rows in a, to put two columns in a single what? In a single row. So you can play with the share of the space by just playing with these flex values that you're seeing in what? That you're seeing here in the expanded. Something like that. Okay, you can even put 1 1, so it can be equal. So you can try that out. Okay, so that is how you put the phone number. Okay, so you can pause the video and look at what I've just done. So the next thing is now how we're going to put those emails. So this is going to be the same like the one that we've just done on top. So you just challenge yourself and go ahead and add them. So I'll remove this row, I'll collapse it, and then I add the one that's going to display the emails and the rest. Okay, so the email and the email type. So you can see how I'm achieving it by the use of what? By the use of row, and then this is the second extension, that is the text field, and it is having what we call a suffix, this thing that will appear like a what? Like a drop down. Alright, so the next thing is now to add, for example, the address. So the address is going to take full screen, so I'll not explain because I've already explained it. So I'll come and collapse this row and then put the what? The address. Okay, so you'll see the relevant icon and on a relevant form field. So you can go ahead and register the remaining things, okay, on your own, because I've already explained the core concept. So you are able to come up with a form like this one, where it can even be it can even be scrollable. You see, it can as well be scrollable. So that is how you implement the the profile, the user collector form. Okay, so I hope you're learning and I hope you're getting the concepts. Okay, so our time is almost up. I'm going to give you a few challenges, then in the next lecture I'll finish the remaining forms. So I want you to challenge yourself by doing this. Sorry, we've already finished with icon, so I want you to challenge yourself by doing this. Can you do that? You challenge yourself and do this. However, we will do it in the next video. Okay, can you challenge yourself and do this kind of an application? Challenge yourself. So me, I'm giving you ideas of things that you should do, that you should do. Okay, so challenge yourself and do this one also. Okay, so challenge yourself and do this sign up like this one. But in the next video, we'll have to review and fix and work on most of them, or if not all of them. So go ahead and challenge yourself and do all these all these form user interfaces. So in the next class, you should be able to show me maybe some that you'll have done. Okay, so don't just pause the video, challenge yourself and do these things. But in the next class, which is tomorrow, you are going to do them together. So that is it for today. So tomorrow we'll finish this form, but that does not stop you from practicing them. And then after, we'll proceed to toolbars. I think these one already explained them, just only need to show you how we can implement them. These toolbars, I think, already explained them. Then we'll proceed to to the profile. Okay, for example, you want to make a polygon profile like this. That one will be after we have finished the the forms. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, so when I upload the next video, you are there. All right, so that's it for today. Go ahead and practice, don't just watch. So once you practice your user interface, you can even keep them somewhere. When you want to do an application, you just collect what you already have and then implement it. So there is no anything like close. All right, that's it for today. We meet tomorrow, where we are going to look at we're going to look at the user profiles. All right, so guys, see you tomorrow and make sure you subscribe.